Well, hey y'all, it's Kirsten with the Wooden Butterfly. Today we are transforming a bathroom vanity. It's so much fun, a little bit of tight space, but it's a lot of fun. So come along, let's get to it. So this week's video is going to be super fun. I have put a challenge on myself to not buy any more furniture. And I'm putting a time limit on it because it can't go forever. But at least for the next 6 months, I will not be buying another piece of furniture. But don't worry, I have plenty of projects to do. So, with that challenge, what I am transforming this week is a bathroom vanity. It is my guest bath, and it's kind of the size of a powder room. So, I wanted to add a lot of punch of color, and I think I found the perfect one in the perfect way to fit it into my home. There's also a couple of different things that I've been wanting to try out. I've been wanting to try out a new type of paint as well. It's new to me anyhow, and I'll give a review on that at the end, and then a new technique as well. And I'll give you my opinion on that as well. So come on, y'all. Join me in this challenge of not buying anything more right now and redoing what we have. So come along and let's have some fun. So this is our guest bath. Look at my cute kids when they were little. Oh, now they're all grown and manly and whatnot. Anyhow, I have this situation going on over the toilet. And I've installed this pretty blue wallpaper and this pretty mirror. So these are the updates so far. And we had done the wainscoting years ago. And so now this baby just doesn't fit anymore. The dark color just, I don't know, it doesn't go with the vibe of what's going on. Those shells up there, I need to paint those as well, or stain them, whichever I'm going to do. I couldn't decide, that's why they're just stuck up there. Well, let's get started. First we'll take the handle off, or the knob, and then we'll get to cleaning it. And just like a regular piece of furniture, we're going to start with some white lightning, and we're going to spray it down, and we're going to scrub it, and then we rinse it. Just like a piece of furniture, except it doesn't come off the wall. Like I said, this is where the tight spaces come in. You gotta have a little bit of gymnastics or a little bit of yoga. Definitely need some flexibility and be okay to get intimate around your plumbing, we'll say, because it's fun. But we're just, like I said, just scrubbing it down, and then inside, outside, because once I opened it up, I gave that inside a wipe down, and I noticed it needed some attention as well. So, because at first I wasn't planning on redoing the inside, but I think we'll need some contact paper or something like that on the inside, because the coating on it is actually coming off from moisture. So we're gonna get some contact paper and fix that up. It's this wasn't a very expensive vanity, obviously, but there just wasn't many that would actually fit in this space. So that is what we're doing. So then, like I said, just give it a good rinse and you're good to go. Then we will remove the hardware from the door, and these were quite rusty, so praise God they actually did come out fairly well. Like I said, there must have been just some moisture trapped inside the cabinet for some reason, which is strange because we don't have any moisture anywhere else. That's a problem. So I don't know. Anyhow, so let's pop that off. And then we filled in the hole. I say I filled in the hole where the old knob is, because I have a different plan. Because we're going to do something really fun on the front of here. I think I've mentioned in another one of my videos that there's two now of these YouTube channels that I absolutely adore. One is called Homeworthy. And then the other one is called Potted Boxwood. And they go and they tour all these different homes, these designers' homes, these mini mansions, if you will. And I have fallen in love with some of their designs. So we're going to do something really fun. Like I said, this was not a very expensive vanity. And well, most vanities, to be honest with you, are not real wood at all. So they need to be primed first. So I'm using my Zinsser Bin 123 bonding for all surfaces. And I'm just using a 4-inch foam roller to apply that to all of those flat surfaces. It got real fun when I went inside because, like I said, it's tight in there. So make sure you're clean really well around your toilet and whatnot. Because, oh, yeah, you kind of have to really get in there. So here's the cabinet door, and you're probably wondering, what in the world are you doing? Well, because I can't just paint the cabinet, we gotta make it extra. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So because I am old school, I gotta draw it out on paper. And so I drew up these different designs. I thought, how cool would it be if I did like that faux bamboo look, right? And then mixed with the color that I chose, which you'll see in just a second. But so I drew out these different designs and I came up with this one. Of course, there was inspiration from other pieces that already have the faux bamboo on them. And I found these here. I found these knobs here, drawer pulls. I thought I could put that in the center and then create the faux bamboo that goes around the edge. And I was like, well, how am I going to get this bend here? I was thinking getting a dowel and sanding it down flat on one side. And then I was trying to find some half round, but it was really wide. And I was like, that's just too big for what I'm doing here. So then I found this stuff on Amazon. And it's, you know, it's like a rubbery, plasticky type stuff. And it's already got sticky on the back. So let me show you my sample piece. It's so fun. So there's my sample of my faux bamboo. This is the trim here. And then I took some of my wood putty, plastic wood, and I squirted that on there, and then took my little squeegee, created some notches in it, and just go like this. Whoop. And it creates the little ridges like it's bamboo. Can't say that I came up with that myself. At Home with Ashley actually came up with it. She did it on wood, half round wood trim. She was doing something much bigger, but and she used like a credit card or something, and I had the bunch of these squeegees around, so I said, well, that will work perfect, and it did. I think it's gonna look gorgeous. So now I've got this nice pliable trim, and I'm gonna measure out where it all goes and how it's gonna all lay out. Let's get to it. Okay, first things first, bonus for doing it the wrong way. I can see my lines really clearly on top of the primer, but technically I should have put my trim on first and then primed over the top of it. Last night I wasn't thinking, I was just trying to rush to I have to kind of strategically get this bathroom painted because it is used. It's my my son is home right now, so he's using it, and we can't have too much moisture in there. So I was trying to paint it early in the morning so that by evening, you know, he could take his shower. But in haste, I was trying to get this the door done, and I said, darn it, I needed to add all the molding first, and then I should prime it. So we're going to backtrack. It's okay. I'm going to sand this down really good so there'll be a good tooth to hold the molding, and then we're just going to go forward from there. So the first step was finding my center, and now I want to draw my design around this area. So we're just gonna take a ruler and we're going to make a little box around where the drawer pulls are and start creating the pattern that I want to create, where we will attach that that really flexible molding so that it looks similar to the original design that I had. So I wanted to use the same amount of distance from the drawer pulls, from the center, from the outside, so that everything was spaced and looked cohesive. Because we want, this is a very symmetrical and very detailed type pattern, you know, very geometric, I guess you would say, type pattern. So we want to make sure that it's nice and symmetrical and even. So that's why I'm using my ruler to just go ahead and draw out that entire pattern, where we're going to go ahead and start placing the flexible trim. It is super easy to cut. You can cut with scissors, you can cut with a razor blade, or I'm also using a it's called a trim snips, I think it's called. They're available at Home Depot, Lowe's. They work fabulous with trim and molding, but they have the angles on there so that you can get a nice 45-degree angle. So that's why I cut the first one at that 45 and then just laid that out and tried to get it as straight as possible. What was also awesome about this trim is that not only is it flexible, but it stretches a little bit. So you could stretch it just slightly and snap those corners nice and tight. So you didn't get too much of a gap in the corners. If anyone has ever tried cutting trim on the chop saw and then installing it, you know that sometimes wood just doesn't cooperate and doesn't butt up nicely. So sometimes it does and sometimes it just really doesn't, no matter what you do. So if anyone else has been as frustrated as I have, just know that this product is amazing and so forgiving. So where that was a different angle there, where it's curved at the top, I used the razor blade. I laid the two over the top and then used the razor blade, and I thought, oh, well, that works even better with them together, because then both are cut at the same exact angle and will butt up really nicely. So it was a little tedious getting it all laid out there, but absolutely rewarding for sure. And now we're going to add the little, I guess they're like notches, or I'm not really sure what it's called in bamboo. We're going to add those on there. We're just going to put on that wood putty and then scrape the squeegee across it where the notches are. And it's going to create our little nubs, rings, whatever they're called on bamboo. I think it's where the new growth comes out or something. I'm not sure. This was, again,
a little tedious because we had to go through, and I had marked it out with a Sharpie marker first and then went ahead and did each one all the way around, and it got a little tedious where some of the tighter spaces around the door handles, but I think it came out pretty good. Now for the cleanup. This is where it really got tedious. I took a piece of sandpaper and I cut it down to as small as I could get it, and then I just had to really get into all the places that needed to be cleaned up. But after everything was cleaned up, we then added 2 coats of primer. We'll put another 2. There was 1 coat on there, like I said, on accident, and then we'll add 2 more coats. I'm just using a zebra fan brush. It really worked good to get into all the cracks and crevices. Oh, and just when I thought everything was going well. Yep. Nice.
Well, isn't that lovely? So, it went under the cabinet, all the way over here. Look, onto my legs. I love cleanup. It's the best. Not the intended purpose or what I'd like to be using it for, but they do come in handy.
Now that we have all those messes cleaned up, let's go ahead and caulk around all of the edges. So I'm just squeezing it out. You don't need a caulk gun with this type of caulk, and it dries in 20 minutes. And while that is drying, let's take a trip to Home Depot and pick out some paint. I am looking for, it's an Elkid paint, or Elkoid paint. I'm not really sure how you say it, but it's a water-based paint that has oil-based properties, and that's what I'm looking for to give me a nice, hard, durable finish for the bathroom. Now let's go pick a color. It's a fun one. Wait till you see it.
Look at that. Is she pretty? So this is what it looks like when it's dry. It's called Solitary Tree, and it's by Bear. And this is an Elkid paint. It has oil properties, but is water-based. So it has a very long dry time, which helps it to level out nicely. And it is very strong, like an oil-based. So that's why I'm using it in here. So I'm using a flocked foam roller. They're a Whiz brand, and they are for cabinets, furniture, and doors. And I used these before with, actually I'd used the Benjamin Moore Advance, and I'm comparing this paint to the Benjamin Moore Advance to see which one I like better. I don't like the dry time, but I like the finish in the end. So that's what we're working with.
So let's go ahead and start laying down the paint. So we're going to use a cut-in brush first, cutting everything in, and then we'll go ahead and use that roller. Just trying to get it on there where you can, because like I said, it's tight spaces. And you're gonna tape off the floor and the wall so that you aren't getting paint on there. Like I said, tight spaces, y'all. I had to literally lay on the floor to get up in there and get that under that lip. Then you're gonna, while that starts to dry, that first coat, gonna come out to the door and get your coats on there. It is a 4 to 8 hour dry time in between coats. So depending on your humidity and your heat and all that kind of things will determine whether or not it's ready for a recoat. It is cured in 30 days. while that's drying, we're going to go ahead and apply the contact paper on the inside. I got this off Amazon. It has kind of a nautical feel to it, and I thought it would be appropriate. And it's clean. It's really bright and clean, and that's what I wanted for the inside of this cabinet. But you just stick it on like you would regular contact paper, and then I just took some of the screws to put in where the screw holes are so that we could attach the hinges easily. Then after you get it all stuck down and get all the air bubbles out, you're just going to take a razor knife and cut off the excess. This makes a huge impact with very minimal effort. So here we go. We're gonna now add the handles on there. I've gone ahead and marked it. You can see the marks right there. I'm gonna double check them again just to make sure they're evenly spaced, diagonal or horizontally, vertically, whatever it is. You know the words. Anyhow, make sure it fits in there in the right spacing. Okay? That's what I want to do. So I've had these sitting in some vinegar. They're better. I've scrubbed them a little bit, used a little baking soda as well. Like I said, they're better. They're not great. So we're going to do the best we can. And after cleaning as much as I could, I went ahead, screwed them on, and screwed the door on. And as you can see, it didn't line up quite right the first time, so it just takes a little bit of adjusting. There are adjustable screws on the front, so it makes it quite easy. Then we'll go ahead and we'll attach those beautiful drawer pulls. And there she is. She's just gorgeous. I picked up some clear plastic bins from Amazon to put the essentials in.
So, what do you think? I am absolutely in love with it. I think it's absolutely darling, and it gives that bathroom just the right amount of punch. I'm probably going to add a few more details in there to kind of get that cohesive color throughout. I would like to try to search on Etsy and see if I can find maybe a fun print that I could print out and hang on the wall, so then it would kind of connect the colors all together. We do have that greenery in there already, but I think it needs just another pop. I would absolutely love a huge monogram on my shower curtain, but not quite in the budget right now. So we're not going to do that right now. Maybe some hand towels or something. Maybe I can find something like that. But let me give you a review on the paint. So my honest opinion is I don't love it, unfortunately. I think I stated earlier that I had used Benjamin Moore's Advance before, and I was kind of comparing the two. Now, I used a bright white with the Benjamin Moore Advance, and that could have swayed my opinion a little bit if I had used, both the same color. But I still don't. I'm quite of a tactile person, and I like a really smooth finish. And when I rolled parts of the Benjamin Moore Advance, it didn't feel much different than the sprayed pieces. It laid down much smoother. Whereas this one, there was still quite a lot of texture. It was also, I don't know as if it didn't dry enough yet, but it still kind of had a rubbery, almost latex-like feeling. And the other one didn't. The Advance just it had a better feel to it. So I'm gonna try something else, maybe in a darker color. Not this one again. I know it's fun, but there's still a lot of this left. Not a lot of this left. I think this is done well in small amounts. So anyhow, so I might try a darker color with the Benjamin Moore Advance and do the same technique and see how I like it. That's what I'm going to say about that. But price point wise, it is good, and it is supposed to be just as durable. So it's fine for my bathroom. It's my guest bath, and no one's going to go in there and be touching it. So I'm not too worried about it. The other thing I wanted to tell you about was this trim. I love it. Absolutely love it. I can't wait to do something else with it. As far as the faux bamboo look, I don't know as if I would do that again on a large piece of furniture. It was a lot to get into cleaning up around each one of the the ridges where I put the wood putty. That was a lot. Now, maybe if it was a bigger piece and I used a bigger piece of molding and I didn't have to do as many, I might do it. But yeah, just trying to get it really nice and clean was really difficult. As far as this trim, I absolutely love it. I would love to find it. They had several different types of styles, so I'd like to find it again because, like I said, they just peel that off and stick it on. I mean, how much easier does that get? And you can paint over it and it painted just fine. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a video. And here is the video that came out last week where I used a similar color because I told you I'm just in love with it right now. That I redid a piece that will go out on my patio that we are in the process of redoing. Everything kind of is in process right now. So we have guests coming, so we have several more projects to do before they get here. So cross my fingers that I get them all done. And then there's a challenge coming in the middle of June. Oh my word. So many things. So come on back. There's so much happening here in the next few weeks. Bye-bye now.